Hey guys, so we're going to be doing chapter 7, individual student plans by me, Andrea Guzman Sanchez, and giselle Hernandez. Yeah, okay. So individual student plans. Individual student plans and individual learning plans are used interchangeably, the definitions. So they are tier 1 activities used at the secondary level and include delivery of core curriculum classroom lessons, individual student and or learning plans, and school-wide programs and activities. ASCA refers an ISP as school counselors coordinate ongoing systemic activities designed to assist students in establishing personal goals and developing future plans. We just have to make sure that we get that in different states and districts use different names for ISP and ILPs, such as ICAPAs, 4-year plans, 7-year plans, or 10-year plans. ISPs are part of the comprehensive school counseling program and are implemented through individual appraisal, individual advisement, and transition planning. Next slide. How do the ISPs align with the ASCA national model? ASCA's position statement on individual student planning for post-secondary preparation states that it is important to collaborate with students, families, and educators in order for students to develop an appropriate academic and career plan. Here are listed the 3 areas to academic and career planning. And it's also important for school counselors to understand guidelines to all post-secondary options like universities, community college, entering the military, and others. Next slide. This is another, here's how assisting students with our ISPs include connect coursework to career and life experiences, exploration of interests and abilities, and at the end, helping them develop a portfolio. It is also important to follow ASCA's ethical guidelines to ensure that all students are aware of all post-secondary options, career pathways, and requirements. Next slide. These are just some of the laws related to ISPs and ILPs. So 34 states across the United States have mandated ILP policies within schools. For our state, we do not have an ILP in use. And here is just an example of Wisconsin's. They have a more of a comprehensive plan and includes an implementation guide. And on the book, there are also listed other states that do have required or mandated ILP policies. Next slide. So how to decide which implementation guide? So it's important for us to research ILP definitions that are used in different counseling programs. And we also must remember that ILPs are a process and not just a document. Many ILPs have common elements that include ensuring that the plan is individualized to meet the goals of the student and focusing on academic, career, and post-secondary plans. And the ILP could be used in the Tier 1 core curriculum for college and the career. Next slide. The alignment with the MTM DSS. So MTM DSS is used to develop core curriculum, which then leads to helping the student develop an ILP. It's important to include all stakeholders to develop an ILP for students to help develop a comprehensive approach, and can start as early as 6th grade and end in a portfolio in 12th. Next slide. So these are just other ways to develop an ILP implementation. So there's the ILP theory of change, and pretty much helping the student have career goals, helps the student improve academic outcomes and post-secondary completion rates. We could also help them develop concrete post-secondary plans. So this is just an example of Chicago's post-secondary plan, just pretty much helping them have a plan after graduation. And this is just an implementation plan, 7-year plans. Again, begin in 6th grade. It's easier for counselors to choose the right courses touches the college career path. And the example on page 180 if you're interested in learning more about that. And next is Giselle.
Okay, so I'll be speaking about decision making on ILPs. So basically, this is just a layout of what it looks like. Here we have who completes it. So that would be students, grade, what tools to use, when, method of delivery, content covered, and how do families provide input. So here we have different kinds of input that they can provide via Zoom, in person, or in small groups. So some of the steps that we have here is how to fill out the ILP. And the first one is to determine student and grade level. The second is to determine tools, which could be Naviance or career cruising. And then the third one, we have scheduling calendar meetings. So basically, this is important because we need to know when we can schedule meetings with parents and all stakeholders. The fourth one is the method of delivery, which is basically letting us know whether we can teach some of the concept during advisory or during small groups. And then 5 is the content. So this focuses on what we'll be discussing during the lesson plans. And then for the 6th one, we have family input. This could be the via workshops, Zoom, or small groups. Okay. And then 7th here we have is connecting ILP to curriculum. So this is basically planning with general ed teachers to create an implementation of the lesson. We want to make sure that all teachers are on board and know what we are teaching across the board. So here we have state and district design tools. The first one that we have here is California College Guidance Initiative. This is basically just an online portfolio that gives students and stakeholders access to different portfolios, whether it's career exploration, post-secondary plans, or just career inventories. And then with this website, it gives access to support students in grades 6 through 12. And some of the features that are really cool that it has is it has FAFSA planning, counselor support, and some other specific grade level lesson plans. So contracted tools for planning, these are basically some of the tools that the schools use that are an electronic one-stop shop. And they are to assist in an in-depth college search, or they also provide students with, or they provide counselors with Google Docs, Microsoft Word, and Excel, basically to create their own tools to share the online portfolios with students. And then lastly, we have some samples of tools that a counselor can create on their own. So this one here is presented from the book. This is from a 10th grade, this is for a 10th grade student. And this is made by Lucid Chart. This is one of the counselors use. And here it's basically a layout of what the graduation requirements are, what classes are needed, and which specific units are needed for each class. So you can see here English 9 or honors English 9, and then it goes by section. And then on the left, we have what to include. So basically the checklist of classes, credits needed, reminders of A through G requirements, and access to SIS requests for students. And then here are some more free resources that I found. They're for different levels of students and for different needs. The first one is basically just free resources and templates to create legal forms for stakeholders. The second is for students that are more visual learners and video content. The last one here is for students who have who are nonverbal and they need bridges to communicate using software. And then lastly, here we have some barriers of implementation of the ILP. This was on page 192. So when making these ILPs, we have to remember that sometimes there's going to be a little bit of pushback. So here I have some possible scenarios and some solutions. The first one is when you get pushback from stakeholders, such as teachers, admin, parents, or students, the possible solution for that would be to just involve them in the process of planning and explaining to them the importance of post-secondary success. If someone is unclear of an implementation or students are not really buying into the activities, what we can do is create a task force team, which basically provides an ILP plan and it's specific to each person that's in that plan. That way we can outline roles and plan for each individual. And then here we just have our works cited, and that's pretty much it.